We're going to talk about lead problem that we have here in the city. We're going to talk about health effects and how it affects children and how it affects adults, and teach you some basic ways about doing the work. Hi, good morning, come on in, okay? I have a sign-in sheet right here. All right, you guys can sign in and we'll find some spots up here. All right. My name is Marty Thomson. Okay, I've been an instructor here at DTC for over 10 years now. And I teach the classes with lead and asbestos, and also teach classes on Saturday home workshops that we have here. We have a huge hands-on area upstairs where we teach classes about individuals how to put windows in, how to put doors in, how to do ceramic tile, how to put a hot water tank in, everything that goes into working on your own home. I teach certification for lead abatement certification through the state of Michigan to be able to work on HUD-funded projects and projects here in the city of Detroit where we're getting funding from the city, okay, and from the state. We have a lot of programs and grants going on right now to do this work, okay? We're currently working on a grant. One of the grants is in Southwest Detroit. It's $9.7 million. We're doing 450 houses, okay? There was a high concentration of child lead poisoning in that area, and so we were doing a lot of work. We're also developing programs to get individuals to start companies, to become a lead contractor, to become working on older homes that were built before 1978. And we have a lot of them here in the city, don't we? Yeah. You guys need a place to sit? Come on up front, okay? Come on, we'll find you a spot. How about right here? I'll move some of this stuff right here. Yeah, so you guys can sit down. Yeah. No problem. Pat Beal is our CEO here. We started this company over 12 years ago, and we had a small office here in the city. And then we were teaching classes at Focus Hope, okay? And then we moved to this facility and we just expanded, okay? We have so much that we offer here as far as not just construction classes, but we have heavy equipment now. We have CDL program. We have a welding program. We also have, a masonry program upstairs where we teach individuals to lay brick and block and pour caps on their porches. So we have a lot of construction classes here. We also have a CDL program to teach young men and women to become truck drivers. But you guys are here for the lead. Yeah, let's talk about lead today. You know what I mean? And the lead problem that we have here in the city. Before we get started, let's start here. Give me your name and a little bit about you, and why you're here.
I'm Isaac. We just bought a house, and I think we're just trying to learn everything we can.
You bought an older home in the city, right?
Yes.
Yes. And now you wanted to try to do the work yourselves, correct?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So I'm here to help you with that. Great. Hi.
I own a home in Hamtramck. These are my friends too, so
okay.
I'm in the same neighborhood now. So all those old homes in Hamtramck, and I'm a landlord too, so I figure I should.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to talk about landlords too, and we're talking about, we have a lot of renters in the city and all the rules and regulations that go in with lead and making, becoming in compliance, before we rent. Hi.
Hi, my name is Manisha Walker, and I'm actually with the Detroit Health Department. I work with childhood lead poisoning.
Oh, perfect, perfect.
So, of course, want to come here to show support.
Yeah.
Program, and of course, continue to educate myself. I lived in Washington, D.C. for 15 years.
Okay.
Back home to Detroit, this is my home. So to learn that lead was still a real issue here was something that I definitely wanted to.
Great, great. Well, I'm glad you're here. We can pick your brain too. We have we're going to talk about lead poisoning. We're going to talk about, you know, which individuals are most affected by lead, you know, and it's our children under 6, okay? Everyone could become lead poisoned, but it's our children that are affected the most. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Toya. I actually work for UCHC. Tim is my director, and I work in the home repair department. I actually am in the process of buying my home. It's an older home in Detroit.
Okay.
And I have a 2-year-old, so
Oh, boy.
the program will be very
Sure.
beneficial for myself.
Great. We're going to talk about lead testing and getting our children tested for lead, you know, right, you know, when they're toddlers, you know, and what that means, you know. It's very, very important. So you work for the home renovation program, revitalization program here in the city?
No, I work for UCHC,
Okay.
Community Housing Coalition.
Oh, okay.
I work in the home repair department.
Oh, great.
We actually send the contractors out to the different homes in Detroit for home repairs.
Right. Excellent. Right. And all those contractors have to be certified, don't they?
Absolutely.
That's right. We got to know what we're doing. Yeah. Well, welcome. Hi.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Diane Onipo. I've lived in my house almost 30 years, so I want to learn about the anatomy of the house. You know, I've been in home repairs. I work for the city of Detroit, but from budget aspect. Never did learn the rehab. We have many rehab programs, but I know how to do the paperwork, but I don't know about the house.
See? Yes. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, Diane.
And I'm getting ready to retire.
Yes.
So now, you know,
If you-
let me, you know, start getting a hammer.
Yes. Right. Right. And don't be scared of that. That's great. You guys, you know, you can learn to do these repairs on your own. We just want you to do it lead safe.
Lead safe.
That's right. You know what I mean? And so,
My house. Yeah.
right. That's why you're here. And we're going to talk about how, you know, that, and I'll give you some guidance on what you can do and what you can't do. I'm glad you're here. Hi.
Hi, my name is Annette. I just purchased a home through the land bank. It'll be 100 years old next.
Oh boy. Yes.
So, I'm doing a lot of the work myself,
Okay.
and I will be watching my nieces and nephews. So I just want to make sure the house is.
Yeah, it's very, very important. Very, very important when you're working on your own house, when the children are there. You know, we're going to talk about disturbing lead paint and lead paint dust and what that does while the work is actually going on, and how to protect them and how to protect yourself when you're doing the work.
Beatrice Hamilton. Everybody calls me, a lot of people. Used to be they came to me. I've been in Highland Park ever since 1970. I got a big family. I'm the last of all the rest of, I just say those people because they live in Highland Park now. But my brothers, and like I was saying earlier, I don't know how to do a lot because of my parents. My mother said she didn't believe in paying people to work on the house because she had too many children. She had no sons, right? So brothers, there was not something to be done.
Yeah.
So I started at a young age, and I was actually excited when they first let me help with the banister. But I continued, but I didn't buy a house. I bought it from an auction 2013. But the house, I was familiar because I grew up right across the street from it. But they broke in, busted walls, you know, destroyed it a little bit. Paid somebody, I suppose, because I got sick, I had mold in the kitchen or whatever. Because of my illness, I couldn't do it, so I paid somebody to remove the mold. During that, found out the waste stack had leaked. I had put all the cabinets in, countertop and everything.
Yeah.
So we had to take all that out, had to throw it out, and replace the waste stack from the whole thing. Because you can tell that was old, because it was this wide and it was cast iron behind the cabinets. Nevertheless, he did the sewer line, but he didn't come back to the kitchen, even left some of his tools. Then, the whole thing that was, my neighbor's tree fell on my house, so. And then the next, up on this side, his house caught fire, and the tip of mine, it kind of sold it, which I don't need nothing but a box of blow on Saturday, because I checked it with a tree picker.
Sure.
But a lot of people that trying to get to do it, trying to charge me $500 and $1,000. I said, no, you just pop that off and slide it back on. I'll put it together for you. I don't know why people do that. So anyway, the whole thing is, I basically know how to do, I'm ready to go because, last month for my birthday, I got a hole in the window and in the wood part, I never seen it. So I was like, I could do it. Anyway, I had a little heart attack again for my birthday last month.
Oh,
Kind of scratched my arm up a little bit, but my cardiologist was like, what you been doing? I said, I ain't been doing nothing.
that's not true.
It's on the dust,
Yeah.
and I was trying to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yes.
And I stripped it when I moved in there because I'm familiar with it.
Sure.
But it's still a lot of dust, and certain rooms got that peeling paint.
We're going to talk about cracked and peeling paint and alligatoring paint and, what do I do with it? How do I, yes,
Because
yeah.
She said I had a virus again. They was like, are you running the old peeling paint? In one room it is. Like,
Well, we're going to talk all about, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, good morning. My name is Angela Henson. I am currently a state of Michigan employee. So,
Okay. Very good. Okay.
so I was very excited to sign up for this class because I called off with no problems.
Okay.
I am a homeowner. I'm listening to everything she's saying and everybody else saying. You get to do home improvement projects and then you either get stuck in the middle of someone not completing the job.
Oh boy.
They take your money, they leave, or you can't get anybody to do anything. So I'm always eager to learn. I have watched some of the contractors to do things, so I have picked up a couple of little,
Sure.
little trades, and so I'm eager to learn. I'm also trying to find a new career, so if I can grow with some of these classes.
Oh, yes, yes.
Share. I used to teach for Detroit Public School for over 10 years, and I've always heard of some of the kids being affected with lead, contracting with lead. Also, some of my clients. So if I could share anything that I learned from enrolling these classes, because I'm trying to retire soon, and I need something else under my belt.
Sure.
And I was always told from my grandmother, it's never too late.
Yes.
No matter what.
Oh, that's exactly. That's right. I tell you this right now, it's a great time to be in construction. It's a great time now to be rehabbing houses. We don't have enough contractors. We don't have enough women contractors or minority contractors to do the work. There's so much work here. We have so much money, okay? And so that's where I try to lead individuals to open and maybe start a small company and everything that goes into that. It's not overwhelming if you want to get into this industry, okay? Because what are we doing? Rehabbing houses. That's all we're doing. We just want to do it lead safe, okay? We're working on homes older than 1978, okay? Yeah. Yes.
to piggyback on what you said, how this is the season for contractors. Now, on my job, I see the budget. I see how much contractors make. It's cheap.
Yeah.
I just did a report for her.
Yeah. That is true. That is true.
It's cheap.
Yeah. So, again, yeah, go ahead.
Now, I've applied for these things. I don't want to sit here and then maybe this and y'all say, oh, we don't service Highland Park. For some reason, and they said the city didn't sign up for something, but I want to make sure that I'm eligible to be here, because at the end, I don't want y'all to say, oh, we didn't know you was a Highland Park resident.
I have some applications that you can fill out to register with the state of Michigan to possibly have grant money to work on your home. Okay?
I can take this court. That's what we are.
Yeah. I'm going to help you today to do lead work and talk about lead and give you everything to start and do the work yourself. Okay. All right? And then give you some tips about hiring a contractor, and making sure that he, knows about lead and practices lead safe work practices when he does the work. Okay? That's a huge problem when we have contractors coming in and disturbing lead-based paint, okay? And then winding, throwing dust all over the house you know, and making things worse. Okay, so we need to know and hire people who know what they're doing. That's very important. Okay.
You said you're going to give her some information with the state of Michigan, how to.
Through the state.
What did you say that?
No, I'm going to talk some basics about you working on your own home yourself and doing the work yourself and helping you through that.
Oh.
Yeah, and this class is like a 4-hour class where we talk to individuals about lead poisoning, how to protect our families, okay, when we do this work, okay, you know, and where lead hazards are in our house, you know, and what is a lead hazard, okay, and some basic things like that. Okay, there are other classes here that we teach, that I teach for becoming contractors and doing lead abatement work for a living. Okay, yeah, so there's, you know, we have all this money for training too through the state of Michigan. There's a lot of money now for training, and it's a good time to be in construction.
You said they're on Saturdays?
We have workshops on Saturdays, but I can give you more information after the class, okay? Hi.
Good morning, my name is Monifa, and I would like to learn more about working on my own home. I have a 4-year-old, and my home was built, I believe, in the 1950s. We also have a home in the family that's over 100 years old that needs work, and so I'm interested in learning how to safely do work on our home.
Great, awesome, welcome. Hi.
My name is Candace. I am a homeowner, and I'm here because I've signed plenty of documentation about lead, but I've never read the fine print, I'm going to be honest, and I want to know more. If whether you're renting a property or you're doing a business with a contractor, there's always some documentation about lead, but I never took the time to personally go in depth and learn. And I've got a scientific question, I hope you can answer it. Okay, I know lead is on the periodic table, right? So is this element, the lead is in the paint. Is there a replacement element for the lead? Is there a way to, or am I giving you an invention idea?
No, I mean, in the periodic table, it's PB is for lead, you know, and I can tell you and talk to you about lead and what it is and where it comes from and why did they add it to the paint, you know? You know, we have 90,000 bridges painted with lead in the United States here. It holds up to the cold, to the mildew, to the heat. Okay? Yeah, we didn't know it was a toxin, okay, back in the day, and they painted the inside and outside of homes, you know, with lead-based paint, okay? And so, yeah, so when did they ban lead-based paint from residential use? 1978. 1978. The older your home, the more lead paint. The homes that were built, let's talk about the homes in the Boston Edison area, the historical homes, full of lead paint, okay? Full of lead paint, yeah. Hi.
Hey.
What is your name?
Leroy.
Hi, Leroy.
I know how to do a lot of the work. I've just been, I like what you said, you wasn't aware when you buy these old houses or that they would being painted with lead. Just like I'll give you an example. I worked at Chrysler and I've been exposed to asbestos.
Okay.
I'm dealing with lung cancer now.
Okay, for mesothelioma? Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
So we wasn't never told what we was dealing with until it's too late.
There's been a lot of new laws and regulations, you know, that have changed things the way we go about it. Rules and regulations for the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, rules for HUD, right? Housing and Urban Development, and we have rules and regulations for OSHA. What does OSHA deal with? Safety, worker safety, yeah. So we have rules and regulations now for working with lead and asbestos, but yeah, back in the day, not so much.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get up on some grants, because if I work, I'll have to sit down, it'll take me a minute.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're here, Larry.
I get out of breath and stuff, so.
Hi, I'm Alante. I'm here based, I brought my dad and my brother with me.
Oh, great.
We're all homeowners. I'm a young homeowner. I just bought my home.
Okay.
at the age of 23.
Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah.
22, I'm turning. And I have a 5-year-old daughter in the home. I've been doing some like little demolition and stuff. I did get my hands dirty. And
Okay.
working on my own house.
Okay.
I am open-minded about learning more.
Now, can I ask you this? Did you have your child tested for lead?
Yes, I did.
And?
It came back with like, I think she only got like a little bit, 1.0.
Perfect. That's good. So we're going to talk about lead testing and lead poisoning and testing children, and they've lowered the levels now. Okay, back in the day, years and years ago, it was 10 micrograms per deciliter of lead in their system. Then it went to 5, and now a child really is lead poisoned. Okay, when you at 3.5, okay, micrograms per deciliter. Okay, when we're talking about deciliter, we're talking about blood now. Yeah, so that's the level. So when a child, when they test their blood, if it's 3.5 or higher, they're considered lead poisoned. Yeah, they're considered lead poisoned. Yeah. Hi.
My name's Carolyn Parnell, and my husband and I own several rental properties, and we're in the process of going through the lead inspection for the city.
Yes, we can talk about that too. Yes.
Get up compliances. So
yes. Right, and so when we have landlords who own many homes, they have to become in compliance before they rent. The city council and the mayor a few years back have passed laws about getting full risk assessments and inspections on the properties before they can rent. Yeah, and so to become in compliance, and we'll talk more a little bit about that. Hi.
I'm basically here for the same thing. Here for it. And she pulled me off at the last minute. I just found out about it yesterday.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Thanks. Hi.
Hey, I'm Nate. I own the old house, 4202, and I work with CDC, Central Detroit Christian, and I manage like 200 rental units in the city. Like 100 of them are built before 1978. So yeah, the lead deal is I get immersed in that sometimes. So I'm trying to.
All right. Well. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some different ways to help you do the work yourself, and and attempt. We're going to talk about old windows. We're going to talk about old doors. We're going to talk about building components painted with lead-based paint, and how do I remove them safely, without, harming myself, or my family. Hi.
Hi, good morning. My name is Ashley. I'm here in the city, and I've been working in lead poisoning for the past 5 years for the city, for which I used to work.
Oh, okay. Oh, great.
And I work with the state of Michigan lead abatement program here in the city as well. It's National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week, and so I'm really glad to see so many residents here, particularly in this week, because it is just a national awareness week for lead poisoning. I currently work for the Green and Healthy Homes Initiative on a new home repair funding program for the city called Detroit Home Repair Fund. One of those things, being lead renovation at home, and I work with the old mural and really do some stuff. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm a certified lead inspector. I've gone through things like this.
A lead inspector risk assessor? Yes, so am I. So yeah, we could talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
But if anybody's curious about the programs, I've worked in them before, and I'm sure you're going to share a lot of those resources as well.
Yeah.
I'd be happy.
So there's so much money now that we have for this, which is good, through the state of Michigan, and training and grants to do this work. And in the city of Detroit, we've had a grant for senior citizens for like $15,000, but we have these other grants now where there's money pouring in to do this work, okay? And we have all this money for training now, to train individuals through the state. And The classes are free, okay? We have so much money for training. If you want to become a lead abatement worker, a supervisor, or actually your company as a lead abatement firm, okay, to be certified through the state to work on HUD-funded projects, all the training is free, okay? And we teach those classes right here, and I have more information about it, yeah. Yeah, yes. I mean, this class is good. I mean, this is like a 4-hour, like a lead awareness. But if you really want to learn about lead, okay, you can take one of these classes, become a lead abatement worker, a supervisor, and we get into dealing all the rules and regulations and actually doing the work, you know, and it's free.
So,
Hi.
but to learn how to house is $60 a class, right?
I'm sorry?
The other, to work on anything else as far as rehabbing your house, the class is $60 a class?
You mean as the workshops?
Yeah.
I mean, we have Saturday workshops here that are 3 hours where we teach individuals how to put windows in, or doors, or drywall, how to mud, how to ceramic tile, you name it, hot water tanks. So we have all these type of classes too.
But that's what I'm saying, our classes is $60 per class.
Yeah, I mean, then we have, if you sign up for like 3 or 4 classes, it's even cheaper, you know, and we have all that information up front, okay? Hi.
Hi, my name is Bill Oldham. I'm with the Enterprise Community Partners. I work with a lot of small nonprofits that are working to remediate lead and do home improvements. I also, my organization teams up with Green Healthy Homes initiatives on the Detroit Home Repair Program. Coincidentally, I grew up in an old house, and then my son grew up there too, and he was poor. He had high lead. He tested high, I think, 2 or 3 times. We're not in that house now, but we're still in an old house. But my stepbrother lives there, my cousin lives around the corner in the same neighborhood, so I'm sure that they're leaded up, so to speak. So, you know, I'm here to learn how to, you know,
Sure.
lead and protect my family and advise them.
So you actually work with lead contractors?
So I work with organizations that will be working with lead.
Yes, okay, there's a lot that goes into it, you know. Some of the revitalization program in the city of Detroit, I work a lot with Ferris Fakura, okay, who has grant programs, and we're trying to develop contractors to send to him to get him on the list to be able to do this work. And because we got such a shortage now, and that program, you know, we're trying to develop a new program here starting in January, hopefully, where I can develop young men to, when they have a small company, to become a lead contractor here and work in the city, you know, and that is one of our goals here. Well, great. Let's talk a little bit about lead first, as far as you know, keeping ourselves, you know, safe when we do the work, and let's talk about health, okay? We know that lead affects everyone, right? Which group of people are most affected by lead, okay? Is children under 6, okay? Children under 6 years of age are most affected by lead, okay? So up to age 7, a child hasn't developed, okay, these bloodstream barriers, okay, for the lead. It passes through their neural tissue, okay, and they become lead poisoned. They develop this at age 7, okay? And so a child absorbs 50% of the lead. We as adults only absorb 10%, okay? So we're living in these older homes that have old window sashes, you know, the old windows that have the weights and the ropes. Everybody knows it, all bad, all lead, okay? Those windows that go like this when we open them cause a friction, okay? And very, very small parts of lead dust fall into the window trough, okay? The window trough is the bottom of the window where all the sticks and dirt fall. The window sills, and then they fall on the floor. You know, lead's heavy. It goes like this. It goes plop. Now asbestos, that just has fibers. It just kind of floats in the air. Asbestos is heavy and it falls. And so Which group of people are most, that are closest to this lead? Toddlers, okay? We talk about, do children get lead poisoning from eating paint chips? Maybe, but it is lead dust from lead-based paint that is poisoning our families, okay? So what they do, they touch things, the hands go in their mouth. They do this every day for months, just little specks of dust, and then after a while, that's when they become lead poisoned, okay? So, that type of, which we call exposure, okay, a lead exposure, chronic. A chronic exposure, which is small amounts of lead dust over a long period of time. Now you can be, as a worker, you can be exposed to a lead dust where there's a huge amount of lead dust if you're working in an industrial complex or a commercial job where there's a containment built and there's a huge amount of lead dust and you're not wearing your proper PPE, like a respirator. That is called an acute poisoning, okay? Acute. So these are two different types of exposure. Children fall under chronic exposure, okay?
May I add to?
Yeah.
Kids also, especially for young, they bite down on a lot of things.
Yes.
So if they bite down on the windowsill or on the table or things like that.
Correct.
That happens. And lead-based paint also, from understanding, has actually like a faint sweet taste.
It does have a sweet taste to it.
So it's attractive to kids.
Yes, it is. Yes. Right. So we have, when we have a full risk assessment inspection, and we have, they come to the house to do a risk assessment. One of the things that they're looking for, his job is to find lead hazards, okay? Let's talk about what a lead hazard is real quick. So they're going to look, lead dust. They're going to do lead soil sample, okay? Then they're going to look at the paint, deteriorated paint. Is it crack, peeling, chipping? Does anybody know what alligatoring paint looks like? Sure sign of lead. It's multiple layers, okay, called alligatoring paint. Those are hazards. Now we have other hazards that he'll look at, because I just mentioned the one about friction, okay? When you have two components painted with lead-based paint that bang into each other, that is called impact. That's a lead hazard. So the old doors, okay, and where it hits, this is called the stop. Every day, all right? Some of the doors are like this, right? They're not. So when the doors start to get like this, they hit. They don't open freely. Oh, lead hazard. It causes dust and chips to fall, okay? That is a hazard. The other hazard is the chewable surface, where he'll come and look for teeth marks, okay, on, yes, on the windowsills. And we don't have building components like back in the day where we had tables and chairs painted with lead anymore, but he will do that, especially if a child has been identified, okay, as a lead poison. If there's, we have what is called here in the state of Michigan, EBL investigators, elevated blood level, where when a child's blood reaches so high, someone's got to come out to the house. How did this child become so sick? What happened? And so they'll do an investigation that way. But yeah, lead is, they're attracted to it because it's sweet. Yes?
All of my windows have the weights.
All your windows have the weights.
And we've been touching them and stuff, so am I lead poisoning?
So that is, yes, and that is a huge problem. So we'll talk about what you can do, okay? And one of the things I tell homeowners, okay, about if you can't abate all the lead hazards, what can I do to make myself safe? What can I do to the house? Okay, what should I do with my toddlers? You know what I mean? If you clean your house every day, which is like interim, it's a temporary method. Cleaning is very, very important, okay? Because what are we concerned about lead? We're talking about dust now, okay? If you clean very, very well, okay, that prevents lead poisoning. Washing your child's hands constantly, you know what I mean, prevents lead poisoning. You know what I mean? Because they touch their toys and things go into the mouth, okay? There's new ways that we clean, okay? And everybody's getting a Swifter today. We're gonna talk about what's the proper way to clean. How do I clean my house, okay? Without spreading lead dust all over the place, okay? There's proper cleaning techniques that we can talk about. So yeah.
Can I ask one thing? Okay. In the water.
In the water?
Yeah, that's one from the, isn't it? I'm just asking because, you know, I've been putting filters. Each house I had, my kids were small.
Yes.
Because, you know, I was a family, I don't know what it was, but it was, I think one of my nieces and nephews or something, my sister had a house and they had broken leg, had leg levels. And my mother got us filters to put on there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Here in the city, we have very good water, okay? We have a very, very good filtering system. And there's more testing going on with the water now, okay? If you follow the news at all, they've been testing in Benton Harbor, where they found high levels of lead over the limit, okay? When we're talking about lead in the water, okay, the acceptable level, 15 parts per billion, okay? That is the acceptable level. And so water, okay, is not the huge problem here in the city. It is the lead-based paint dust, okay? That is, yeah. You know, so we have, you know, what we're doing now and what they've done in Flint about the water problem there. You know, they're replacing all the pipes in the basement and the lines from the home out to the main, plus they're replacing the mains too. So it's a huge endeavor, you know what I mean? Yes, and so it's a big problem, okay, and but it's the lead painted dust that we're concerned about, okay, and we're, but it is, you know,
On top of that,
yes.
The water is a risk. Also, like you said, the old pipe from those things.
Yes, yes. So, in a nutshell, when you know, lead, you have a pipe and then it has what inside it has a built up like a crustacean inside of it, right? And so what happens sometimes is when the pipe starts to, if they haven't added any type of corrosive materials to the filter, which has happened in Flint, the pipes are nice and clean. That's when the lead leachate off the pipes into the water, okay?
In Hamtramck, they have had elevated lead in the water lately, and it's been a thing that's been, I've actually...
Yes, I've read about that.
Yeah, so it's just the lead line into your home that you can tell if it's a copper or a lead-based...
Yes, yeah, you know, and I have some slides that I can show you what that looks like, you know, older as it comes into the house, okay? But yeah, that, the lead lines, so lead, okay, is very pliable, okay? And they used it for plumbing and for back in the day. You know, we still have lead in our solder. You can buy lead solder, you know, for copper piping still. We switched to new products. Now we have PVC and we have what is called PEX, you know, that they use nowadays. You know, and we're eliminating that.
I might ask them all. So with the hot water tank and with the water meter, you know, so the state, it mandates that those when you're attaching, those lines have to be copper, but the other lines don't, right?
Yes, you know, they're eliminating those, okay? So the connections.
Right, that's what I mean.
Right, yeah. Yeah, let's see if I can show you what we're talking about so you have an idea. Yeah, so I have some, we can talk about the water real quick. And So, I don't know if you know Melissa Steiner.
Yes, I do.
Do you know Melissa? Yes. So she sent me this, okay? And it kind of helps with the contract, and it kind of shows us about the... Oh, do you? Oh, great. About the lead, and I'll kind of show you a few things where the pipes are coming into the house, okay? So you have an idea, the protocol here. Where are they testing for lead in the water? Okay, Flint, Battle Creek, the Thumb area, Grand Rapids, Detroit, Upper Peninsula. We have a problem all over the state with the water. How are we testing for lead? The lead copper rule, which is 15 parts per billion. Okay, that is our standard. Michigan Department of Health and Human Services residential lead hazard control lead in the water protocol. I just wanted to show you a couple of pictures. So you guys, there is a lead line coming in right there, lead service line. Yeah, okay, that's what you're talking about there. Yes, there's one. The one on the bottom right there is lead, and you can see right here how they cut it open and what it looks like. That is a lead service line right there. Okay, actually, so the lines, coming from the main into your house right there. They're, again. So just an idea, okay?
So you're saying that's dead, because that's still in my house?
I'm sorry?
That's lead?
Yeah, that bottom part right there is lead right there, where the service line from the lines from the main coming to the house, that is lead right there.
Have you ever had the water company come out?
Yeah, they've been out.
Because they seen mine and they told me mine was lead, and
They changed it?
I had my plumber hook everything up. He had, before he did everything, I had the water company come out and look at everything before I had my plumber come out and work on something. And they told me that was a lead pipe, and then it had to be cut out, and then they would come back and inspect everything.
Okay.
And come back and shut my water.
Okay.
So I did have that pipe in my house.
Okay. So that kind of give you an idea. When we're talking about lead poisoning really quick and what happens when a child is lead poisoning, okay, let's talk a little bit about that. A child, they're going to have a smaller IQ, they're going to have speech problems, hearing problems, ADHD. They're possibly going to need special education classes. This is going to follow them through their whole life. So this is the issues that we're having. It's when a child is lead poisoned, this is what happens, depending on the severity, okay? It follows them through their whole lives. We have issues, things that when a young girl is lead poisoned when she's young. I'm sorry?
Somebody looking for you.
Okay. When a young girl is lead poisoned when she's young, okay? And then first let's talk about how it travels through our body so we know, okay? When we get lead into our system, it goes right to our blood. The only way that you know that you've been lead poisoned is through a blood test, okay? So it stays in our blood for 30 days. And then it travels to soft tissues where it can be stored for 6 to 8 months. And then lead can wind up in the human body in our bones and teeth, where it is stored for up to 30 years. what happens when a young girl gets lead poisoned when she's young, and she grows up and she gets married and she becomes pregnant. Okay, that is very high stress, and what happens is that lead leachate from her bones into the fetus. Some children have been born with lead poisoning from their mothers, when they were poisoned when they were younger. Okay.
We also recommend nursing and breastfeeding moms to get lead tested.
Yes.
When they lactate, they pull from your body.
Yes.
From your bones.
Yes.
And it can contaminate.
Very good point. So, let's talk about what lead replaces in the human body, okay? For a child, lead replaces iron and calcium, okay? What does a child need to grow? It needs iron and calcium, okay? That's what it, so if you're in a situation where the child's diet is not up to par with iron and calcium, maybe they don't have all the fresh meats and vegetables and fruits that they need, it's twice as hard on them, okay? And so, a child, is very, very, susceptible to lead poisoning from this. Children, again, under the age of 6 are most vulnerable. They are most vulnerable, okay? Lead replaces iron. So sometimes pregnant moms need iron, okay? Maybe they take an iron supplement, okay? We have a test for that, for iron deficiency, that we give to children and we give to pregnant moms. It's called a ZIP test, protoporphyrin test, and that checks the iron levels, okay? But the only way that you really can know that you've been lead poisoned is through a blood test, okay? That is the only way.
What if they had it when they was a kid and they adults now?
I'm sorry?
I said, what if somebody, a child had lead poisoning as a child, but they're an adult now,
Okay.
and, having issues or health things or whatever? How would you know if it was maybe from lead poisoning from younger?
That's a good question. You know what I mean? And there's, again, once, a child's been lead poisoned, and when they're young, it follows them through their whole adult life, and it could affect them through their job, everything, okay? It's depending, there's a...
Does it show up in the blood test the same way that they have lead poisoning?
So we know that once it travels through our body, where does it wind up it winds up in our bones and our teeth, okay? Yes, yes, correct. Mm-hmm. I've got some stuff that I can give you about lead poisoning and some different guides that can help us, and we're going to talk about cleaning, okay? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Marty, make a quick announcement.
Yeah.
So, I'm Lord Byington with UCHC, kind of facilitating this class. I just wanted to let you know we're all filming this, so if y'all can just raise your hand if you want to speak, so we're not talking over each other.
Okay.
It's kind of hard for you to pick up the audio. Thank you.
This talks about lead poisoning, what you need to know about protecting your child, okay? And what does a lead hazard look like? So there's some really good points in here. It talks about effects of lead poisoning and tips to prevent lead poisoning. And lead poisoning is 100% preventable. And then one of the things it talks about getting your child tested is so important, okay, to get your child tested for lead. And it has a number there for the Detroit Health Department. It talks about diet, cleaning, how to work lead safe. So this is very, very helpful. have a little video here I can show you about lead poisoning. So this video is from Indiana, but I show it to a lot of the classes we're talking about because it all relates to what we have here in our metropolitan city and the problems that we have here, okay? We have lead issues all over the state of Michigan. I've taught classes in the Upper Peninsula, okay? Muskegon. When I was a contractor, I worked in Flint, East Lansing. We have older homes all over, okay? And this kind of shows you the problems that we have, and we'll take a quick look at it.
You walk into a house, you think, wow, this is gorgeous, I can fix it. And then actually it could be some of the fixing that you do that winds up poisoning the kids.
I think what's really a concern here is he dealing with ADHD as a result of lead poisoning, or is it something he would have had all along? I don't know, and that's the frustration.
It'll be a reminder for the rest of my life that we poisoned our daughter.
The fact is, no one wants to be responsible for allowing a child to be poisoned by lead. And yet, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say lead poisoning is the #1 preventable environmental cause of illness in children.
We need to understand the Centers for Disease Control estimates that here in Indiana we have about 13,000 children that are lead poisoned, already have lead in their system or are at risk of that.
And far and away, that toxic lead exposure is coming from the one place our children are supposed to be the safest, in their own homes.
When you look at across our state, I believe we rank the 11th state with the highest number of homes that still have, that were built before like the 1970s, that have lead in the paint.
Well, it's a real problem especially in a major metropolitan city such as Indianapolis, because we have about 25% of our homes were built before 1978, and so they have a lot of lead paint inside their homes. So it continues to be a problem, especially for families who have children under the age of 6, where they're the most impacted by lead poisoning.
The use of lead-based paint in residences was banned by 1978. Indiana law presumes the paint in any home or child-occupied facility built before 1960 contains lead-based paint. However, for safety's sake, it's best to assume any home built before 1978 can be contaminated. Lead is poisonous to everyone, but particularly to children age 6 and under. Registered nurse Carol Denlinger is a lead case manager for the Elkhart County Health Department. She explains why young children are the most at risk.
Children up to age 7 have not developed the blood-brain barrier, and what that is basically is a structure. It's pretty cool. It's a structure within the central nervous system that does not allow toxins to pass from the blood to the neural tissue. But it does allow good nutrients to pass, but not bad. So it's pretty amazing. But children don't have that until they're age 7. So those children are susceptible under age 7 to the lead poisoning. The lead attacks the central nervous system along with actually every organ in the body.
So,
they went in the class.
huh?
They went in the class.
Okay. I need you to call Pat to find out about lunch.
Yeah, this guy needs to come back.
I'm sorry?
This guy needs to come back.
He didn't pass? Okay.
Only 50%.
Huh?
Only 50%.
Okay. Yeah, so can you talk to Pat about lunch? And how many people are here? Okay? There's a bunch of it. There's a whole shitload of people too.
Yeah. 18, 20.
Yeah, so for maybe 25 people. Okay?
In children younger than 7, it disrupts developmental processes during critical growth periods. The disruption is potentially severe and the damage is permanent. A child who has been lead poisoned is more likely to have a lower IQ, is more likely to be in special education classes, is more likely to be incarcerated for violent crime, and is more likely to have a low-wage, low-skilled job as an adult.
Lead has no use in the human body. There's no reason why we need lead in our body, so it is nothing but a toxin. And when it impacts the nervous system, yeah, that damage is done.
Damage due to lead poisoning is irreversible. Health officials continue to lower the amount of lead believed to cause damage in young children. Currently, a level of 10 micrograms per deciliter of blood is considered an elevated lead level. So how are small children being exposed to toxic levels of lead in their own homes? They literally consume it. Peeling and chipping paint may seem obvious, especially on the exterior of an older home, but it's lead paint dust, created by the friction of opening and closing lead-painted windows and doors that may not even be seen by the naked eye. And yet small children crawl in the dust, they play in it, and then they put their toys and hands into their mouths. In much the same way, they may come into contact with lead in the soil around the foundation of their home.
Homeowners and contractors need to know that is when we talk about paint, we talk about all coatings, which includes the varnish, the stains, the shellacs of the old days. And so if somebody has an original coating on the floor or on the newel post, parts of the stairs, a mantle, windows, and they want to strip that, then they know they might be stripping and creating lead dust. So any dust that's generated, of course, is harmful to the children. So we have to concentrate not only on the paint, but we have to think about the other areas that might also have coatings that contain lead. We can walk in to this room and talk about windows, that several places that we have friction and impact. So friction is an area, windows in particular, as windows go up and down, you generate a lot of lead dust with the old paint. And so that's a place of particular importance and one of the first things that renovators often work with. And so there'll be much lead dust there, not only from the friction, but what's accumulated over the years from the dust that's blown around. Another issue that contractors and homeowners need to be aware of is clothing and shoes. So when a contractor's done with the work, we encourage them to either wipe off their shoes, to wear booties the whole time they're doing the work and leave those behind. Also, not wearing those shoes home. So whatever shoes they have at the workplace, they'll never take those into the home.
It's a lot of heartache for the families because it's a preventable disease. They didn't know about it, and now damage happens at the time of exposure.
Carla Johnson of the Marion County Health Department knows the heartache firsthand.
My now 11-year-old son has lead poisoning, and I found out that he was lead poisoned when he was 1. What's interesting is I would not have necessarily known to have had him tested had I not been working where I work. I didn't know about lead poisoning. I found out about the age of 1 that he was lead poisoned after a pediatrician did not test him at my request because he said he didn't need to be tested. So I persisted a little bit and found out that he did indeed have a lead level initially of 21 micrograms per deciliter. So if you think about 10 micrograms per deciliter being the threshold in which a child is considered elevated, he was just about double that. My son was a dirt eater. So I think that he probably got it from the soil in our yard. And what's really interesting is for a child's play area, above 400 parts per million is considered elevated. I had my yard tested and it was about 250 parts per million. That's still below the standard. That is something that even as a health department would not require a homeowner to do anything about, but I think there was a cumulative effect. So what's really interesting and what's important to note is that even though it is less than 400 parts per million, my son still got lead poison from that.
10 years after his diagnosis, Carla's son struggles with ADHD and reading difficulties. She is frustrated that she'll never know for sure if these problems might have been caused by his lead poisoning. And she worries about how the consequences of lead poisoning may affect him the rest of his life.
How long is he going to have to deal with this? And now where do I go from here? Is he going to be on these drugs through high school? At what point do they stop becoming something that sedates him and becomes a stimulant for him? All of these issues that come up with that I wish I didn't have to include lead poisoning in the equation when I consider why I see this way.
So I show this because it's a good example about what's going on in these small towns and the testing. Okay, this is an older. We know that it has gone down to 3.5 now. It's not 10 micrograms per deciliter. It's 3.5. Okay, so we're going to talk about testing for lead. You know, and how do we test our house? How do we know that there's lead in there? Okay, so let's talk about that now. There's some different ways that we can test for lead, and what's going on in the city of Detroit as far as testing. Okay, if you own multiple homes, or you are a landlord, or you're going to rent, do I have to have my house tested? Okay. Yes, you do. And we're talking about having a full risk assessment inspection done on the home, where they come out and the risk assessor inspector is going to do one of the first things he does when he comes out to the house. Let's talk about this, okay? He's going to do a visual. He's going to walk around the house looking and making notes. On the outside of the house, by our garages, by our house, if there's paint chips all over the ground, which there usually is on some of these older homes, right? Yes, he's going to make a note of that. Then he's going to go inside and he's going to do some testing inside. We have this new type of testing that I want to talk to you about really quick. He has a special type of gun that he uses called an XRF. Okay, X-ray fluorescent analyzer, okay, XRF, okay, and he'll take pictures. He might take like 100 pictures, looking for lead hazards, okay, with this gun. Okay. And it comes out on his gun in a number where the state of Michigan is 1.0 milligrams per square centimeter, okay? That's the definition of lead-based paint. And for Michigan, when he takes it with his special type of gun that he uses called an XRF, okay? This is part of a full risk assessment inspection, okay? Let's talk about this wall right here, okay? Let's say this wall is lead-based paint, but this wall is in pretty good shape, isn't it? Okay? This wall is not a lead hazard. Unless I take my hammer and I start beating on it, oh boy, what did I just do? I just threw lead dust all over the place. If you look at this wall, okay, and this wall is lead-based paint, and it's cracked, peeling, chipping, alligatoring, okay, that is a lead hazard. That's the things that we work on, okay? As a contractor or as a homeowner, you can make these repairs safely in your home. We're just talking about, mudding and wet sanding. We're going to talk about some things that we're not allowed to do. Let's talk, does everybody know what a palm sander or a belt sander is? Yeah, you're not allowed to do that in the house. That's going to throw lead dust all over the place, yeah. So, we hand sand, we wet sand, okay, to make the repairs. So that is also, that's part of an inspection, okay, where this is how he's going to test, okay. He can also test, you guys can also test for lead by a paint chip. And I've done this before and I've talked about this. You can take a paint chip, all right, and put it into a little baggie and you can send it off to a lab. All right, we have a lab in Romulus that does all the testing. It's called Accurate. And they do all the lead testing for us, from water to dust wipe samples, soil samples, and paint chip samples, and tell us, okay, if there's lead. Let's say we didn't have our house tested for lead, but you guys know your house was built in 1950 or 1940. Can you assume that there's lead in there? Oh yeah, you can assume that, okay? There's another way that we test, okay? On the private side of doing lead work, you can buy these check swabs from Home Depot, these lead check swabs, and do the testing yourself. You're allowed to do this, okay? You can test to see if you have lead in your own home, okay, if you're not sure. When we get involved with the city of Detroit, okay, and we have landlords who are renting, okay, we have to have a professional come in to do the testing, all right? And he is called a risk assessor inspector, okay? They do all the testing. Once they come in and do the inspection, all right, they write these reports, okay? A lead inspection and risk report that you get, all right? If you wanted to have this done on your house, okay, it would cost you, depending on how much square footage you have, between $350 to $650 to have the whole house, okay? And they will give you a report, what they found, okay? They give options to tell you how to actually do the work, too, you know? We know when we're talking about lead abatement, what does abatement mean? It means to remove something. Lead abatement means to remove the lead, okay? Like replacing all the windows or replacing doors. That would be like an abatement procedure. But there's other ways. This is an abatement. We have a special type of paint that I want to talk about, okay? It's called like a lead block. It's called an encapsulant that you can paint over top of lead-based paint, okay? This is an abatement method that would last 20 years, okay? It's expensive. It costs between, $80 to $90 a gallon. A lot of the contractors are getting required to use this, okay? But you can buy regular, you can also buy regular exterior or interior paint from Home Depot and make repairs in your house with it, okay? It's when we start having paint that's cracking and peeling and chipping is where the problem starts, okay? Or when we have components that are painted with lead-based paint that are banging into each other, or these friction from the windows, which is causing a huge problem. So these are the ways that we test for lead, okay? I teach a class here. It's a one-day class, okay, that's certified through the EPA, which is called RRP, Renovate, Repair, and Paint. It's minimal lead-safe work practices. So companies like Hanson's and Wallside, Home Depot, Sears, Lowe's, if they send guys out to your house, they have to have some lead-safe work practices. They have to know a little bit about what they're doing, okay? And practice these things, and put some plastic down, okay? You saw in the video a little bit, they talked about the contractors and how they, what you should do when you're working, with your boots and your clothes. I worked in the field for many, many years doing lead work. I was a lead contractor for a very, very long time, okay? And so using common sense, using wet methods when we do this, okay, is very important, So here's a question when I talk to the contractors about what should I do before lakes and before breaks and before lunch and before I go home at night, not to protect myself from lead. You know what I mean? So wash your hands. Yeah. Taking your boots off and putting them in the garage, not walking through your house if you'll be doing this type of work, okay? We have lead dust. It's very, very small. We can't see it, but it's there. Our clothing. You can wash your clothes separate if you've been working in a house and doing this all day, okay? We're going to talk about exactly how do we go about doing this type of work and keeping myself safe. Can I do this work, okay? Yes?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about human beings, but what if you have pets?
What if you what?
Pets.
Pets. So pets can become poison all the time. Yes, they do. Pets become, oh yeah. They're lead poison on their paws. If they live in that home, yes. And so I'm not too sure how that affects them. But some pets have been lead poison, yes, depending on the severity. Yeah, right.
I'm just thinking, my dog is nuts.
Your dog is...
I'm serious.
Oh boy. Do you have a question? Hold on. Let's listen up, everyone.
So, for instance, about the paint that you have.
Yes.
So, if we were to buy like regular interior paint from Home Depot, like Behr.
Yes.
Those paints, lead based.
Yes.
Okay. So even if we had lead on the wall.
Even if you had lead on the walls, you can make the repair with that regular paint from Home Depot.
Okay.
Yes. Should we paint this window with that kind of paint? No, you can't. What happens, what they're trying to do now with these windows, is that, let's say you own a home in the Boston Edison area, the historical homes, where you cannot put, I have a newer window. Let me show you a basic window that you guys might put in, or have someone put a window in. This is a standard, this would be a new type of window that you guys would put in. This is a double hung, could be low E Energy Star window, these are a replacement window for these type of windows here, and so this is what contractors are putting in the home. The window, these windows here, I took this one out of a house, from an historical area. You see the leaded glass, very nice. They want to put these windows back in the house, This here is all lead, right? The leaded glass, that's not the problem, The problem is when they're opening and closing, it's the lead paint. So what do I do? What do I do with a window like this? You know what I mean? All the paint, and I've helped contractors in that area, all the paint needs to be taken off, and then they can be repainted and then reinstalled, In the working in the historical areas, you have rules and regulations where you can't put those windows back. You got to go back with the wooden windows. They have special permits that you have to have too, and so it's very cost effective. I mean, it's expensive, but you can do that. You know what I mean? And so most of the time, we want to throw these windows in the garbage. Yes.
What about the windows now? I know all mine is because they have the wood frames, the thick wood frames.
Yes.
So, and it's hard to get, like say, the window out. You got to pop the wood part, the thick, the frame.
Are they the crank type, or are they?
No, they go up and down, but the outer is wood.
Yeah.
It's solid wood.
Yes. Actually, the wood itself, I mean the window itself, or are you talking about the trim?
The inside, I know, like I said, the heavy thing.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, around the outside, is wood.
Okay.
Like I said, for a window, so you have to place the wood too?
No, you don't. No, you don't. Right. So the problem is the jams. I'll show you what a window jam is and what a door jam. So if you take a door, for instance, this part right here is called a jam. All right? This is where the issues are. This is where the problem is. The window's sashes, because this is called a sash, running up and down against the jam. Yes. So it's, I can talk to you about different ways how we do this, you know what I mean? And using a paint stripper, that has, you have to be very, very careful. Using a heat gun. Does everybody know what a heat gun is? Yeah. So heat guns, are super, super hot, okay? I have one here. Somewhere. Well, it's here somewhere. Anyways, it looks like a hair dryer. Okay, the heat gun. Oh, there it is. Thank you. I knew it was somewhere. Yes, very, very hot. This will take some paint off. Okay, this will peel some paint. It's very, very hot. The rule is you cannot use a heat gun over 1100 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that is a rule. When you're using, if you're going to attempt to use something like this, you definitely want to wear some respiratory protection. We'll talk about, you guys today, everyone's getting a half mask respirator. We're going to go over the kit that you guys are going to take home, all right? But attempting to do something like this, you need to wear your respirator. We don't want to be breathing those lead fumes in while we do this work. Yes?
All my windows are like that window right there. So you saying I need to get a heat gun and get the paint off?
Do you want to save the window?
I actually did. I actually just put glass in all of them.
Oh, you replaced the glass?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a program in the city, the home renovation, the weatherization program that I used to work in years ago, where we replaced glass and we went around and insulated the houses, okay? Yes, you can do that. I just want you to make sure that you're doing it lead safe, that you're doing it safe, that you're going to wear a respirator, and let's talk about paint strippers, okay? Some of the paint strippers may contain methylene chloride. You do not want to use that. It's been banned, okay, through the EPA and through the state of Michigan. It causes cancer. So these types of a paint stripper, they work well, okay? You're going to be using, different types of scrapers when if you're going to be using a paint stripper or using your heat gun, okay? And you want to do it lead safe. Yeah. No, this is something that you can do as homeowners. You can make these repairs, okay, yourself. We're going to talk about, when we're doing this, we have special vacuums that you guys are going to get called HEPA vacs, and these are very good for doing the work. You have to have a HEPA vac when we're doing the lead work and lead dust. Very, very important. Using wet methods, talking about, using our spray bottles, all right, and wetting things down like windows or doors before we take them out, okay, just to keep the dust down. We're not generating a ton of lead dust, but we are generating some, okay? If you were on a project where you're going to take all the drywall down to the studs, the house is empty or something of that nature, oh boy, that is creating a lot of dust. That is when you need to wear your respirator, when you're doing that, okay? We have rules and regulations through OSHA to protect us, when we're working on the commercial side of doing lead abatement. But as homeowners, wearing your N95 mask, everybody knows what an N95 mask is, right? Or now they have what is N100. They have masks that have a little filter on the front, okay? You can wear those. We just want you to not generate a lot of lead dust and use wet methods and use your HEPA vacs, okay, when you do the work. Okay. Replacing a door or window, replacing a door, is a little bit of work. These older doors that you have to replace, you might have to have a professional come in and do that, or you need to buy the right door that goes in there. The windows are a lot easier. once someone shows you to put a window in, it's pretty simple. It's not, windows can go in pretty quick, and the hardest part is making sure you measure them right. That's the hardest part. Yes.
Is there lead in the plaster?
In the plaster, you could be lead and asbestos in the old wet plaster, yes. Yes. And so what happens when you have a house that was built back then and it has like 10 to 15 coats of paint on it, all right? The lead goes all the way down to the substrate. The substrate would be the wood. There could be lead in those wood fibers too, okay? The top 2 or 3 coats could be regular paint, but all that paint from years ago is lead, okay? And so you can do things by, painting over it, with a special type of encapsulant, which is an abatement method, removing the windows. Let's talk about the outside and what's going on. A lot of landlords, okay, where they need to become in compliance, all right, and they've given options like for their garages and the outside of the homes, right? We have what is called an enclosure method, where what type of materials would we use to go over top the outside of the house and cover it up? Vinyl, siding, vinyl siding. That is an abatement method. That is an enclosure method. That's expensive for landlords to do that, okay? I want them to replace their windows. That's where we need to help them with, So that's where all the lead hazards are. But you can wet scrape and paint your garage, right? You can wet scrape and paint your garage yourself, yeah. You can put plastic down and do that safely. And that's what's going on in a lot of the older homes that are not being covered with vinyl siding are getting wet scraped and painted, okay? And so that's just one way to do the work. Yes?
So question. So for a brick home with the soffits
yes.
that are chipped, you can just add the aluminum siding to cover it?
Let's talk about what a soffit is first, and what everybody knows what gutters are, right? Mm-hmm. And the boards that go underneath the gutters are called fascias, okay? And then underneath the overhang, we have what is called the soffit, which is underneath there, and that's usually wood, okay? So we can wet scrape and paint those, or we cover them with vinyl, or we have the siders have metal coil, which we call trim coil, that covers all the fascias, all the eaves and the rakes, okay, with trim coil, okay. This is a great way to do to abate and do the outside of your homes. So when you get when your windows are replaced, and then the molding or the casing that goes around your outside windows would be covered with metal trim to make it look really nice. Yeah, and caulked. We use a lot of caulk, all right, when we do this work too. So that's one, there's options there, So say again, some options are more expensive than others. But it's something that you guys can do yourselves, you know what I mean? And that's, again, we have a kit that that you guys are going to take home today when you're doing the work and doing the cleaning. But let's talk about the 6 mil plastic, okay, that we're going to use, that we should be putting down, If you're going to disturb lead-based paint in your house, okay, and you're going to work on a door or a window, okay, we need to put plastic down. We need to have plastic runners okay, when we're walking in and out of the house. So the minimum that you should put down, okay, if you're working on a door or a window, you should put the plastic down 6 feet in all directions. If there's a bookcase or a piece of furniture that's next to that window, that should be covered, okay? Because we don't want lead dust to move on to those furniture. Here, the difference is when we do through the full abatement for the city, these bigger projects, everything is covered, everything. All the furniture, all the floors. If you hire a company like Wallside or Hanson's to come out, they're only required to put minimal 6 mil plastic down. They should, okay? They should be putting a piece of plastic down when they're taking the window out. And where you're walking, you know, through the house, they should be putting plastic down on the outside of the house, okay? When they're working on the home. So that's the difference. You know, we're giving you guys a whole roll of plastic today to take home with you. So when you attempt this, you're going to put plastic down. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just make sure
No, that's okay.
So I guess this is about like, when is it proper, or would you say would be mandatory for a family or to people to not be around while these repairs are happening? So like, because I know if we want to eliminate lead exposure, especially if it has any do renovations, 9 times out of 10, if they're not working, the one that's actually doing the work, you don't want anyone really around.
Correct.
While that's happening.
Correct.
So when would you recommend that, okay, maybe it's time we do some type of temporary stay or somewhere else while these repairs are happening before?
Good question. Good question. So, you know, in the programs, the grant programs that they have for the city, the grant programs that they have for the state of Michigan, Oakland County has money for these programs. I've worked in the city of Warren. They have their own money. You know, so when we're talking about doing full abatement work, 99% of the time, we don't want them there. The family has to leave when we do the work, okay? Because the house is being fully abated, okay? Currently, the city of Detroit has a hotel that we're putting individuals up now while the work is being done. But let's say, you know, you're going to be doing the work yourself, or you're going to have a small painting company come in, or a window company. Yes, you should take your family out for the whole day while the work's being done, and when it's done, and after they clean, because they're supposed to clean the house, we're going to talk about cleaning, then you should come back, okay? Yeah, at the end of the day. You know, cleaning is a huge part of doing lead abatement work, and I talk to contractors about cleaning and what's going on in the city when we're doing full risk assessments and inspections, okay? Landlords, okay, they have to, once all the work is done and up to date, they got to clean their house. And then someone's going to come and test to make sure that it's safe for the homeowners to move back in, okay? And we can talk a little bit about that and what they do. A risk assessor, if you have a risk assessment done on your property, okay, he's going to come back and do a visual. He'll come back and look at your scope of work. And then finally, he will do what is called a dust wipe sample. A dust wipe sample. So, dust wipe samples, we have, I have a whole bunch here to show you exactly what we're talking about. These little packets, okay? So, this is how it works. The contractor comes in and they get all the work done. Or they replace windows and doors, all the hazards. have been abated, okay? And then we have to clean the house. The contractor cleans the house really well. Then he'll call the risk assessor inspector to come back to do the testing. And he'll come in and he'll have his booties on, okay? He'll have his little kit with his gloves, and he's supposed to change his gloves out after every testing, and he'll take a dust wipe sample of like 4 rooms and 8 samples. Now the porches are getting tested. If there is a porch in the home, inside or even the uncovered porches are getting tested, okay? You guys seen the porches with the old gray paint, right? Yes, all bad, okay? Yes, yeah, yes. You know, so those are getting tested. So kind of an idea of what he does really quick. If this is the window right here, he'll probably take a sample on the floor. He has a template, you know, so it's usually 12 inches by 12 inches, and he'll take the dust wipe sample back and forth like this. He'll fold it, he'll go up and down, and then he'll fold it one more time. Then he puts it in a little file, and he'll write kitchen floor. Then he'll send it into the lab, and usually by the end of the day, the next day, the landlord or will know, did I pass or did I fail? Okay? Did I, we have guides that we have to pass with as far as the dust, okay? And so if we didn't pass the dust wipe sample, what do you think has to be done? They got to clean the house again, and then they got to come back and retest again, okay? So that's what's going on testing on, yes?
So each time you come out, is that an additional charge?
How much is it each time he comes out? It's expensive. It could be $150 or more. The first time is free, okay, on these other, on these the state funded programs, okay? And then, but yes, if you fail a dust wipe sample, or you also could fail like on a visual. If he came out to the house and he found paint chips around the garage, around the house, okay, he's gonna, he's gonna make a note, get back in his car and leave. You failed on a visual, okay, because you didn't clean it all up. Yeah. And so yes, you definitely have to pay for the second one, okay? But now, go ahead, do you have a question?
Yes, one more.
Yeah.
So after the paint, chips and all that stuff hits the soil and you get everything done, what do you do to get the soil?
Oh, let's talk about the soil. So we have different ways that we treat the soil, okay? When the risk assessor inspector first comes out to the house, he's going to do a soil sample, okay? He'll take a soil sample, and he might take the sample, if you come out your side door and there's a bare spot right there where the concrete is, he'll take a sample there. He'll go in the backyard. If you have a garden, he's going to take a sample there. If there's a swing set, for sure, and there's a bare spot, he'll take a sample there, okay? So what are some ways that they can treat the soil, okay? When we're talking about abatement, if they asked the contractor to abate that, then maybe he would have to take out 6 inches of soil, bring 6 inches soil back in, and have it retested. Or maybe that one area I'd have to go in there and pave concrete all over the place. But this is what this is what we're doing as far as a interim control. What does interim mean? Temporary. So what they're doing, the contractors are, they're allowed to put mulch down, okay? Or they can put down, bark chips. Some of the contractors will plant grass seed or bushes. This is all temporary. Did I eliminate that? No, it's a temporary method, but this is acceptable, okay? they might have the contractor get a tiller and they'll till up the spot, okay, where they want them to do that abatement or that interim control. Or they could do something like they might, on the garage, they could come out with 2 or 3 feet and put down some garden black paper and then put down 2 or 3 inches of pea gravel. These are just different interim control methods for the soil, okay? But mostly the issues that we're having, you know, is not with the soil, okay? It's other hazards inside the house, okay? That kind of help you with that.
So if the mulch is temporary, then if the mulch is temporary.
Mulch is temporary.
So how long?
That's exact. So when we're talking about abatement, and I teach the class, and I talk about, well, you know, Marty, how long is abatement supposed to last? You know, these abatement methods, and the answer is 20 years. Okay. So if I put new windows in or new doors, okay, or I use this special type of paint here. That is a question on a state exam about, well, how long is abatement supposed to last for? And the answer is 20 years. But we're also, the report, he just gives you options, okay? Interim control, which is temporary, or abatement. And it's up to you as a landlord or a homeowner to become in compliance, right? You have to do it. Yes.
One question.
Yes.
Okay, say that can you use that for the porch? Because, you know, I got them big wide thingies.
The pillars?
Yeah, but I can see it's paint peeling all up there.
On the supports? Yes.
So can you use, say...
Yes, you can use this. Of course you can.
But scrape?
You can wet scrape and paint it? Of course you can.
But I'm saying, is that the proper way? Because it's peeling a lot.
Yeah.
And it's the proper way.
So let's talk about that, okay? And we want to use, you know, we're going to be using our scrapers and our bottles, yeah, our sprayers, okay? But the most important thing done is putting down our 6 mil plastic, okay? On the outside. Yes, outside and inside, it doesn't matter, okay? And taking the I think after lunch, I'm taking all you guys, we're all gonna go upstairs and do some hands-on. Yeah, and do some hands-on and show you the proper way, okay? We have a huge hands-on area upstairs and show you the proper way of putting plastic down and what you should be doing, okay? And give you ideas for doing the work yourselves, okay? And so, you know, putting plastic down and sealing it so when you start to work, all the paint chips, all the dust falls right onto that plastic. Yeah, having our HEPA vac right there with us, okay? And using that HEPA vac.
And my older brother, every time he paint anywhere, he has a little vacuum we carry to say, like you said, HEPA vacuum.
Yeah, they have different kinds. They have ones that you can carry. I have about five or six different kinds back here. This is a portable one that everyone that you guys are going to be getting today. There are stronger ones that we use that are bigger, that contractors use, that are more powerful. But what are we concerned about when we're cleaning? Dust. We're concerned about dust. That's it. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I can't stress about how important cleaning is, you know, and, you know, using our HEPA vacs, all right? And not using a shop vac from Home Depot, okay? Not a good idea. They had a contractor who, he bought a shop vac from Home Depot, and then you could buy a HEPA filter and then retrofit it, and then he took his magic marker and he wrote HEPA on it. And he had it on the job site. True story. And a compliance officer from Lansing comes out, you know, and says, "What is this?" Okay. When I'm talking about what we have to know about HEPAs is that it has to be what is called true HEPA. That's how it filters, you know. HEPA is a filter, that's all it is. So to being a true HEPA, these vacuums, they have to filter the air down to 99.97. That's how well they work, okay? And so if you didn't do that, you know, all the exhaust is just blowing out all over the home. You think that you're cleaning really well, but you wind up poisoning your family by using these type of vacs. Okay? Yeah.
And he was real, oh my God, he is stickler, and it's amazing. I'm sorry that I can go back and tell him the dust that the HEPA filters.
Yes.
Stuff you saying, we say get on your nerves, but.
Yeah. Sure. You know, this, let's grab, well, I'll just show you the one that, let's go over the one that you guys are going to get. Okay? This one right here, this portable one, which, you know, this portable one that you guys are getting, pretty cool. It comes with a sealed canister, okay? Once this canister is full, okay, you just take it, you can throw it away, and we have other new canisters that you can put in there, okay? What? Yeah, and so this is true HEPA. It doesn't come, it has some attachments that come with it, all right? When you're doing the work, okay, and you want to have this right next to you when you're working, okay? Whether you use this one or you buy a bigger one, okay? When you do the work and you're starting to disturb lead-based paint, your vacuum should be right there with you, especially if you're taking a window out. That's kind of messy. So you want your vacuum there to vacuum everything up as you're doing the work, okay? So important, all right? We're not supposed to sweep. Did you know that when we do lead work? We're not supposed to use brooms and sweep. We're supposed to use HEPA vacs. I teach the contractors that when they're doing the work, okay? It's you know, we do use some water, yes, but you know, I do not use, you know, my HEPA vacs are for dry, okay? And I'll show you another HEPA vac that we have back here. Tim, I'm gonna get right behind you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. All right, here's another. This is a HEPA vac right here. I'm going to throw it on your table there, right here, okay? So this one here, you know, it's a little bit bigger. This is one that contractors use. Here, this is HEPA filter, okay? No, 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 no. This bag acts as a filter. And it has a filter right here. So yes, this is how we get it down to 99.97. Yes, because it's what is called true HEPA. Yes.
I actually have a question for Marisha.
Yeah.
Does the health department still have these that you can borrow?
Those are totally different.
Does the health department what?
If we had one of those, right?
Yeah, the health department used to have vacuums that you could borrow.
Oh.
You were doing the HEPA vacuum.
Oh, you could borrow it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Check it out.
Yes. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Totally different than the Home Depot stuff. Or, you know,
Yes. I mean, that one right there is DeWalt that just came out, and that's like $470. Okay, and that is actually HEPA. I have some from Menards, okay, that are like $237, that are true HEPA that work well. If you're going to be doing this for a living, or you're going to have a big project, it is a good investment. Someone asked me about, is there upright vacuums that are HEPA? Yes, yes there are, yeah. Very good, you know what I mean? But it's when you do this work, okay, you want a good vac, okay? When you're disturbing lead-based paint, very, very important, having a good vac.
Because I know it's in my house. When we got an old house, my brother made this, when he brought one, I got the other one, he said even vacuum and just maintenance with the dust, you want one.
What?
Vacuum with a HEPA if it got a peel of paint or dust in
Yeah.
the whole house. Am I right?
Yes. Another important attachment that I talk about is the beater bar. You know, that's the bar where you vacuum the floor with, okay? The attachment. You know, and some of the vacs, the ones I used to use, I don't have one here, the beater bar, very, very important. It was powered by the vac and it spun, you know what I mean? But the whole idea is you want to clean well, okay? When you're done working, okay, and you got all the, we're going to talk about, you know, when you're finished doing a window or a door or whatever kind of repair that you're doing, right? That plastic that you put down, you know, you're going to fold it up, right? Dirty side in. Then you're going to put it into a, you know, 4 or 6 mil garbage bag, okay? Yeah, a thick garbage bag. I can talk to you about some of the regulations. Everything that we generate from the inside of the house, a residential property, okay, is exempt from federal and state laws. It's not hazardous waste, no. But what do we have to do with it? We have to wrap it in 6 mil plastic. That's the law, okay? You have to wrap it in 6 mil plastic. So, you know, as you own your own home and you took your windows out, the rule is that you wrap each individual piece and duct tape it with 6 mil plastic and put it out in front of your house, okay? The contractors usually will get a dumpster. Always get a small dumpster if you're going to be doing a bigger job. And I usually had to talk to they would take some 6 mil plastic, 2 gigantic pieces, and put it inside that dumpster, okay, and open it up. And all the material that goes in there, okay, then at the end of the day, they just fold it up, okay, and they're good to go. If they didn't do that, they would have to wrap each piece individually with 6 mil and then put it in their truck and take it with them, okay? It just goes to the landfill. That's all, just like our regular garbage, it just goes to the landfill, yeah.
I think this class is very informative, but I think it should be like a requirement when you purchase homes that you should have the class first. Because we've took our windows out, we demoed the house, we did all this stuff before, and I had no idea.
I mean, what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and are they even going to pick it up or take it? You know what I mean? You know?
We got a garbage can, but I'm just saying I had no idea that we could be lead poisoned.
Oh yes.
With these old
yes.
houses. It's just something.
Yeah. See, I forgot about that because you do have the big black cans, and how are you going to put all your stuff, all the stuff in there? Yeah.
We did that.
So yeah. In that case, I know that there's transfer stations here in the city, but if you're going to be doing this project yourself and you're going to be replacing 15 windows to 22 windows in your house, yeah, what do I do? How do I get rid of all that?
To also answer your question, hopefully I'm right. I do believe the Office of Environmental Safety handles a lot of stuff, especially for homeowners and contractors that want to do things in terms of lead abatement, and they also handle a lot of the visual risk assessments. Because we're actually starting to do risk assessment with child care centers now.
Are you?
Yes. We're extending to that area.
Well, that's great because, you know, that's what when I talk about teaching the classes, and we talk about target housing and what is a child occupied facility? Okay, a child occupied facility. The daycare, the kindergarten class, that are places that they're spending time with. That's older than 1978.
And you have a home base.
Yeah.
You know, child care center.
Yes. Perfect example.
So I would say if you would like to see, if you can, borrow one of those, definitely contact the Office of Environmental Safety.
Awesome. That's good to know.
Thanks for that information.
Yeah. Yes.
I have a question, because we're talking about like, the house that we bought was previously a rental, so it's just been like painted over inside. And there's like a bunch of just like nicks, and it doesn't look very pretty, so we want to sand it, make the walls smooth. But I'm sure we're gonna end up sanding into maybe some lead paint. Do you recommend wearing something, setting something down, dry, or wet sanding?
So, yeah, well, how much area are you thinking about sanding?
Like all the walls.
Like all the walls? Yeah.
Smoothing them out.
To smooth them out.
Yeah.
That is a tough one. I mean, you know what I mean? And that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. You know, in some areas where there's a lot of deterioration, like a small kitchen or a bathroom, you know, I suggest a lot of times in these programs where I had contractors put a 1/4-inch drywall all the way up, all the way around, and just recover it and redo it, okay? Instead of taking that time and, you know, disturbing all that paint, okay? Now, in bigger areas like your living room and area, you can't do that, you know what I mean? Or maybe you have cove ceilings or, you know, I don't suggest power sanding or belt sanding, okay? I can, you know, I teach wet methods and wet sanding, okay? We can talk about putting up containment. Let's talk about a wall of plastic, okay, which is containment, all right? If you're gonna do an area, a small area, you can build a vertical containment out of 1x2s or scaffolding to enclose the area where you're working so no dust escapes, okay? It's a very, very good practice on a particular job depending on what you're doing, okay? When you do something like that, you can build, and I might have you guys do this upstairs. Okay, we have a door, you know, and I'm going to build a type of containment or flap system so I can go in and out of that room without contaminating the rest of my house. Okay? Yeah. How do I do that? You know, so I'm going to take a piece of plastic, a little bit bigger, 6mm plastic. Okay? I'm going to go up around, all the way across, and then all the way down. And I might have it come down on the floor like this. Then I'll get my duct tape, okay? Or you might want to use blue painter's tape because we don't want to rip the paint off the wall, do we? You know what I mean? Or you can, you know, there's different types of tape that we use, okay? This is the one I suggest because this stuff is pretty strong and this might rip paint off the wall, okay? So, you take this and you go up, I'll tape it solid all the way across, okay? Then I take another piece of tape and I tape it right down the middle, all right? Then I'll get my utility knife and I'll cut that open. Right now I just kind of made a flap. I'll take a second piece. This is the old school way. I'll take a second piece and I'll go up the same size all the way up, all the way across, all the way down, okay? But then I only tape it across the top and down one side, and so now I kind of created a flap, and then I step into the containment area. It prevents lead dust from moving around. So what the contractors are doing and what else you can do is this here. Oh, here it is, I'm sorry. Look, this right here. It is a zipper. All right, these work very, very well. And you can just use one layer, all right? And so you take this and put it on here, and it has adhesive backing, right? And put that on, and then you open it up, then you cut it. Now you can go in and out just using one layer, okay? A lot of contractors use just one layer and they buy these zippers, okay? But if you don't have one of these zippers, you can do it this way, okay? It's very simple. Well, the whole idea is, what are we trying to do? Yeah, you don't want lead dust flying around to other parts of the building or other parts when you're doing this work. That's why it's so important to try to use this type of containment, okay, when you're doing the work. If you have an isolated work area, you can do this, you know. It's rare, right, that we have lead in one room. These older houses, we got lead everywhere, right? There's lead in every room. You got lead windows in every room, you know what I mean? Yes, yes. But let's say, you know, this is a good way if you're just going to take one room at a time or one area at a time, and you want to do something like this to prevent, you know, the dust from moving around. This is a great way to do it. Okay?
I'm sorry, y'all.
No.
It's 3 bedrooms. Do you suggest I seal off them rooms and just be in one room until I can do it? Get somebody to.
Which room are you going to be working on?
I have 3 bedrooms.
You have 3 bedrooms.
Suggest
that
I close the door like that to those other rooms.
Yes.
And then
yes.
The room that I'm in.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Which makes sense, doesn't it? So we talk about, here's another thing about talking about air movement and containment. You know, so what do you do in the house to make sure that air doesn't move around? We close the windows and doors. What about that thing in the basement? What do we do with that? The furnace or the HVAC. Turn it off. Turn it off, especially when you're cleaning. Okay, if the furnace or the HVAC kicks on, what's going to mean? It's going to throw lead dust all over the place. So when you are cleaning, yes, when you're cleaning.
Do you do anything with the dust in the vents?
There is going to be dust in the vents, yeah. Is there going to be lead dust in there? Possibly, yes. But as a contractor and teaching this, you know, I feel good about removing all the hazards from the home. And the house passes the inspection and passes dust wipe samples. And when you're finished or when the contractor's done, that house is pretty lead safe.
So do you block the vents?
Yes. Very good point. Very good point. And that's one of those rules about everyone knows what registers and vents are, right? Yes. So you can take plastic and cover those in case the furnace does kick on, right? Yeah, but we want to turn that furnace off or turn it down when we're doing the work. Very important. And I teach that way too, and talk to contractors about the rules about covering registers and, you know, preventing, you know, what do we do to prevent air movement? You know what I mean? And keep it safe. Yeah. So you think let's talk about windows, about replacing your windows. Do you guys think you could attempt to replace your own windows? Have anybody's tried to do that or have done any work to their home, you know?
The old ones, yeah, I grew up with them kind.
Yeah.
And then I had a house I rented, it was an oversized window, it was old before I bought mine, you know, leasing it. And the landlord didn't know how to get it out. But I told her, okay, I'll use a butter knife and a screwdriver and a chisel. But the shim was broke in it. That's why they couldn't get it out. She didn't know. And it was, one side would go up and one would.
Yeah.
So that shim, it's funny that they used to do this, I guess, it was tied. The rope.
Yes.
So it was tied and it was actually stopping the window.
Oh, from going, yeah. Right. Because the rope goes over the little wheel that's in there. Yeah. But, you know, when you're doing, it's funny when you're doing projects where you have to take those windows out, have them stripped, and then put them back in, you have to retie those ropes back in there. You know what I mean? But, you know, but most of these times, we're throwing those windows right in the garbage. We're getting rid of them. Yeah, they're no good. They're from the 30s and 40s and 50s, and yeah, we want to put new windows in. You know, a lot of times I come into the houses and, you know, they're painted shut. They don't even open. You know what I mean? Because they have so many coats of paint on. You know, and the homeowner or the renters living there, you know, they're not even able to use them because they've been painted shut. Yeah, which is probably a good thing, you know what I mean? As far as the lead hazard, they're not using them, you know? Yeah.
Okay, you know those square windows?
Yes.
Okay, you know when the panes break, you take the tip and get the things out, the holders, the find the studs.
You mean the stops that hold the window in?
No, say you move the squares. You know,
Yeah.
If you want to just change one of them little squares.
Oh, you mean a pane, changing the glass?
Yeah, because some.
Okay.
The inside is wood. It's wood.
Yeah.
Because one of the panes, broke.
Yep.
So I just stuffed a couple of and taken garbage bags in. But do you have to because you scrape the wood, right? And you're supposed to scrape that, right? To get that little pane out.
Yeah, I mean, if you're working on a small area, okay, and depending on how big the area is, or a piece of plastic or a bag or a door, okay, you can tape a bag or a piece of plastic. You could tape a piece of plastic or tape the bag where you're disturbing the paint, so all the chips and everything fall right into it. If you're working on a small area, you cut a piece of plastic, okay, to that area and tape it solid, all right? So when you start working on it and tearing it out, all the chips and paint is falling right into that plastic around that bag, okay? That's what you want to do, all right? And you can do the same thing on the outside, If you're working in an area where you have one window, you can put a piece of plastic just in that one area, tape solid, okay? Because you don't want all the paint chips and crap to fall down there on the ground. There's already paint chips down there to begin with that I suggest that you guys clean up, okay? You're responsible for picking up all the old paint chips on the outside of the house. There's different ways that we can attack this to do it safely, using, our scrapers, our spray bottles when we're doing the work. If we have to use our respirators, safety glasses, very important. You only have one set of eyes. Safety glasses are very important. If you're using any type of tools, right? Your Sawzall, your circular saw, compound miter saws, please, safety glasses are very important, okay? Look at, you guys get a Tyvek suit too, all right? So if you're doing a big job that's causing a lot of dust, you got a Tyvek suit. Different types of scrapers, caution tape, okay? We have rules and regulations that we have to follow here in the state about our signs and our caution tape when we do this work, okay? Like even small window companies have to put up signs and caution tape when they do this work, okay? So people who are walking down the street know exactly what's going on. We don't want no children inside that area while things are going on, while the abatement or work is being performed. So we have rules and regulations for this. Well, I think that we got lunch coming pretty soon, don't we? Yeah.
Real quick with them, just show a couple of different items that are in there.
Yeah.
I'm not the instructor, obviously.
No, this is Tim.
So Tim with UCHC. So we kind of put these kits together for you.
Yeah.
They're kind of a compromise. We couldn't give you everything that we wanted to give you, like the top dollar, HEPA vacuums, that sort of thing. But I just want to kind of let you know that these are very sharp. These 5-in-1s. Very, very sharp, so just keep away from the kids, be careful, a little pointy thing on the end, and that's just a disclaimer. And we're also going to give you, with these Swippers, we're going to give you a box of wet wipes on there. So these hook on there. You'll go over the actual sweeping procedure, right? Marty?
I'm sorry?
You'll go over the actual sweeping procedure.
Oh, yes.
So there's an actual way to do this to where you're not going back and forth and, cross contamination, that sort of thing. So there's a proper way to use these things. The reason we got these vacuums here is the HEPA vacuums are great, but you gotta know how to clean them out properly. Because if you take them out, you just start knocking that dust everywhere, you're gonna contaminate everything, right? So the idea is to use this internally inside the house for light jobs. So if you're doing that, you're doing like major scraping jobs, this is gonna get filled up quickly. So the idea is once this is completed or filled out, this little cap comes out of here somehow, some way. Here we go. Anyway, so once it comes out, you take this out, put the hose in there, it fills up. Once you pull this out, before you pull it out, you just take this little orange cap, put it on there, and then dispose of this, okay? And we're gonna give you a couple other cartridges in there. So the idea is to use this for light cleanup there. And so it's, so there's no cross-contamination, there's no way to kind of like knock it down on the side of the house and you get lead everywhere, right? Some of the other items there, I think you got everything else. Oh, we did throw, so we didn't have little squirt bottles, but we do have these big sprayers there. A good way to wet down surfaces before you scrape that, so you don't have dust going everywhere. It's just a little pump thing, you just pump it and it just squirts everywhere. Yeah.
So inside of the containers is a disposable, something that's disposable, you can use that container again?
No, this is the one, that's what I'm saying is when you fill that up, the HEPA vacuum filters in there, so it captures everything. So it contains in here, once it fills up and you lose suction, you put this cap on there and it's a one and done type of thing.
And you could put a new one in.
Yeah, so that's why we give you extra cartridges when you're doing that plastic. You take that 6 mil plastic, you'll want to reuse it probably for another thing, but you don't. So you just fold it up upon itself, put it inside these bags. These bags are actually 3 mil, so if you want to double bag it, and then twist it and do a goose neck tie on there, and then take the duct tape and then tape that, so the garbage guy when he picks it up, it's not blowing everywhere.
So the cartridge should be a 6 mil tape too, right?
The cartridge will be self-contained, yeah, you can just throw it in there with that.
Yes, yes.
Right.
We have a question in the back.
The cartridge is no for regular trash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a hard plastic, so you put that cap on there, it's going to be contained. Yep.
So the white thing that you're talking about is the cartridge.
Yes.
So
Yep.
can we purchase more of those?
Well, you're going to get 3 more of these in the bag. I'll give you a big double bag, so you get 3 more of these in there. So it should get you there. You can go online and you can order more of these if you want to. They're a little bit pricey, or get a hold of us because we're going to have additional ones left over too.
Okay.
So if you get really ambitious and you just go crazy vacuuming all this ridiculous stuff, let us know. We have extras, okay? This one here is really not pertaining to lead, but it was left over. We had some little freebie we threw in there. So it's basically an air purifier. And so you set it up in like a 10 by 10. It's basically a 100 square foot area that it covers. Set it up and it boils the air as it goes through. It kills pathogens. So this time of year, if you have breathing issues, put it in your bedroom. And it's nice. It's like a little $250 unit. This is about $300 here for all this.
Awesome.
So the idea is this doesn't have a filter. It doesn't have to be clean. You just plug it, set it, and forget it, as they say on TV. And just leave it on 24/7. And it just has a little warmth on the top, throw night light on it. That's the idea. It's just this little extra we threw in there. So yeah. So yeah, I don't know if that's how. And let's see. I think we covered everything. So you're going to be walking with a duffel bag. Oh, and you're going to get a big roll of the plastic back there. It's going to be a 12-foot wide by 100-foot long 6 mil plastic. Very heavy. And it's not cheap either, so it's like $90 a roll, $85 a roll for now. Just priced it. Everything's just going crazy expensive. So, and you'll want to maybe try to reuse that, but don't, because it'll be contaminated, So it's just kind of the idea is to get rid of it. So, any questions on that? Oh, and there's another question. One of the previous classes, somebody talked about soil contamination. When to grow crops in your backyard or raise, a little garden. Always consider like putting in a raised garden, raised bed garden, bringing in new soil. Because, you're growing stuff in your backyard, you never know how, engine oil may have been dumped there, who knows what.
A lot of people using them loading pallets to be
Yeah, to raise it up. Yeah.
Straw bales.
Yes.
Kinds of different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the idea is not to, leach that stuff
Yeah.
into your food. Yeah.
Did you have a question?
No, I was gonna say that the city got a program where they giving away raised beds and stuff just in case. Could they come out to test for the gardens and stuff like that as well? All the houses that have been dimmed down and people put gardens over, they come out and test that anyway. So all you gotta do is go to the state, like Detroit, the road.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I would say if you're not sure, you would always get your soil tested, okay? We can talk about soil contamination for a second here, and it's huge, okay? Everybody knows where Corktown is, right? You know where Corktown is? There's probably 25 houses in that area around the Ford Motor Company, the train station. Very, very high contents of mercury and soil in that area. Yes, all just from old factories from a long time ago. Okay, remember back in the day we had leaded gas. All right, we had leaded gas back in the day, and so what had happened is that areas where we grew our food on the sides of expressway, all over, had high contents of lead and mercury in it. One of the reasons they stopped that, you know what I mean? But yeah, I would suggest having, your soil tested or making a raised bed, when you're, if you're gonna grow anything in the city. And there's things there to help with that, yes?
You're done with all your renovation. Your house tested negative, and now you want to maintain. You want to wash walls. Should you cover the floors with the plastic?
When you're washing?
Wash the walls. Now,
No. No.
You want to maintain.
No, it's like.
And windowsills. So you don't have to cover those floors.
Yes. You don't have to put plastic on, but it's a great idea to wash and clean, and to clean those old windowsills.
Yes.
Because when we put new windows in, okay, we don't replace the sills, they're there, right? They're going, the windowsills get painted. The windowsills get painted.
When I had my windows replaced, they cracked my windows, replaced them.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They did an excellent job.
Thank you.
They did, they covered all my furniture, my entire floor.
Okay.
By Anderson.
Oh.
Yeah, they did an excellent job.
Great.
When they came out, everything, and they really did an excellent cleanup. Took the windows out from the outside. Excellent.
Great. Okay, we're going to break for lunch. Okay. Yes, so this is where we do all our hands-on work again. And this where I teach a lot with the state and with the city, and teaching contractors how to put plastic on and what to cover and the rules and regulations that go into it, okay? As homeowners, we want to make sure that, we're going to keep ourselves safe when we do the work, okay? We want to put down some plastic. We want to make sure we're keeping dust levels down. We're not creating a ton of dust when we do this work, but we are creating some, using our spray bottles, okay? And wetting things down before we take the doors off, or before we take windows out, baseboards or crown molding, whatever we're doing, okay, we want to make sure that we're doing it lead safe, okay, and putting down some of the 6 mil plastic. And I think I mentioned about building that flap system right here. So I'm going to need a couple of volunteers. I got tape and knives here. I'm going to grab some plastic. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll put this first we'll do this and put this on the floor, okay? All right? You know, the whole idea when we're putting plastic down, okay, you don't want to cause any trip hazards. You want it nice and smooth, okay? This is good. Again, thank you. You're responsible for making sure that it stays in place. You know, the whole idea now, so you're not covering the whole room, but the area that you're working, and you got your HEPA vac here with you, and then you can go to work and you can start taking the window out, or you can start taking the door out. You want to put your plastic down. If you're working on the first floor or the second floor, you want to make sure that you have plastic where you're walking in and out of the house. Okay, so you're not tracking it, okay? You might be wearing your booties, okay? So you're not getting dust on the bottom of your shoes. We'll get a couple pieces of plastic and we'll try that flap, okay? All right. I'll have you chew. Yes. Yeah. Right. Sometimes you got to cut your plastic to fit the doorways. Okay? So if we lay this out, okay, we want to cut a piece of plastic a little bit wider, right? From here to here, all the way down to the floor. So you could.
Can you just fold it and tape it?
Yes, but you know, let's cut it here, okay? Right here. Yeah, I do want you to do it. Yeah.
Like down here?
No, let's cut it right here. All right. You can cut it straight, right in the middle there. Okay. Yeah. You can come over there and hold that piece up for him? Yeah. That's it. Perfect. Careful, it's sharp. Excellent. All right. Let's cut one more piece. How about right here? See that little crease right here? All right.
Kind of. Oh, this one?
Yeah. You got it. There you go. Perfect. Good job. There you go. Watch your fingers. Okay. Let's have, a couple more. Come on. Someone real tall. Yes. Come on out here. Yeah. Let's put this first one on. Okay. So, on both sides. All right, let's get some tape. Yeah, let's get some tape. All right. So I want you to tape that across. Okay, solid. Someone can grab another roll of tape. Come on over. Yeah. Right down. You tape it down here. You might have to double it. I got it. All the way across. All the way across. Yeah. I got it. Go. Good job. That's okay. Go put another one on right next to it. Come on up top. Come on up top. All the way up here. Both sides, all the way down. Here, put another one up here. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, all the way down. Again. That's it. Just straight on down. Go it again. Yeah. Very good. Excellent. Okay, we can have cut this bottom right here. Okay. This could excess a little bit of excess. Cut it right about here across. Yeah. There you go. Careful. There you go. Very good. Okay, so now, if you have one of the zippers that you can get from Home Depot, bring me a roll of tape. Come on over. All right, you could put that zipper right down here in the middle. All right, so I want you to take a piece of tape and put it right down the center. Right, okay. Excellent, excellent. Okay. So, right down the middle, all the way there. Yeah, careful. Very good. Good job.
All the way down?
Yeah, right to there. That's good. You can a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Sometimes I like to cut it because I don't want to. I don't want to trip. You know what I mean? So I might cut it a little bit further. Okay. All right. A couple more volunteers.
Some ladies.
Some ladies. Yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So grab some tape. We need somebody tall for the top. Okay?
We got tape with foot.
I'm sorry. How close are you? Yeah, that's good. That should work. Okay. So let's tape it down let's tape it down this side over here. Across the top and down this side. Hey, come on over here. Yeah.
And tape it down.
All the way down the side. Yeah. There you go. Beautiful. I got it. Excellent. One more, right next to it. Good job. Very good. Can you reach the top? You better let your brother, you better let your brother. Yeah, he's a little bit taller. Okay? Yeah. Good job. So you might have to put 2 layers because it's kind of dusty too. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Do another one right on top of that, okay? Yeah, a little bit higher, perfect. Yeah, sometimes the tape doesn't stick. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so now everyone listen, we just made a 2-flap system here, okay? And now you have a little bit of extra here, okay? So you open this flap and then you can go through here and go through into the containment area. Now, if you take, let's say there's here we go, this right here. Come on and wrap this up for me. Okay, come on down here. Yeah. Take this and wrap that real tight all the way. Okay? Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Okay, now come and tape it for me. Yeah, come and tape it. Yeah. You can put a tape underneath here to here, okay? Like a couple pieces.
It's like acting as like a weight.
Yeah, and I'll show you what you can do and what happens with it. Connecting both of them together, yeah. Do a couple like that. Not on this piece. Yes, underneath. Yeah. Yeah. See, like that. Okay? You know what I mean? So it's separate. So the whole idea, you know, when you, if you're going to be making a type of containment in your house to prevent lead dust from moving in, I put that weight down there so when you go in there, the plastic goes right back. Okay, you see? Now you can buy the zippers from Home Depot and just put that down there and just use one layer. But if you do it something like this and you're going in and out, that weight puts the plastic right back in there, okay? And yes, you know, I mean, if you don't have the zipper, this is the way you have to do it, okay? But if you're going to be working in a room, disturbing lead-based paint, that you do not want it to migrate to other parts of the house, this is what you have to do. Any questions? Pretty simple. So again, you're working with plastic, and once you are finished, okay, what do I do with the garbage? Pick that piece up, roll it up. Yeah, we'll throw it in here. Okay, just crunch it all up. Yeah, so you're going to be folding all the dirty plastic in, right, with all the dust and the chips, putting it into a 6 mil garbage bag, all right? A 6 mil bag. Tim talked about goosenecking a garbage bag and the proper way to seal it, okay? So when we're talking about goosenecking a garbage bag, all right? And we take it like this. Bring the tape over, will you? All right? So, and wrap it around here about 4 or 5 times. Right around here. Yeah, so we're going to tape that up really good. Yeah, just go around. Yeah, yes. No. Good. And then we take it again and go over like this and tape it again. That creates the gooseneck. Okay? Yes, that's good. Excellent. So now you've completely sealed the bag, okay? And so, again, everything that generates from the house, from rehab projects, is exempt. It's not hazardous waste. What do we have to do with it? What do we have to wrap it in? 6 mil plag. Yeah, it has to be wrapped in 6 mil plastic and taped in duct tape, okay? All right, even if you don't get a dumpster and you're doing this work yourself, you know, each individual piece has to be wrapped up, okay? Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We can head back downstairs right now and we'll kind of finish up, okay? So, any questions about what we just did upstairs? Some basic little things. You know, we want to make sure we're putting the plastic down when we're starting to do the work. We want to make sure you got your HEPA-vacs out using those, okay? Now let's talk a few minutes really quick about cleaning, okay? Yes. So cleaning is a big part of doing lead abatement work, okay? When we clean from the top to the bottom, to the back to the front, okay? So we would clean the windows first, okay, if we were replacing new windows. The brand new windows that we install, okay, are going to have some lead dust on it, okay, just from their working. You know, so your HEPA-vac that you there could have lead dust. We want to wipe that down. So, you know, back in the day, when we were cleaning, buckets, I used to have three buckets and wash, dirty, clean, you know. But now, when we're cleaning horizontal surfaces, okay, lead's heavy, it falls, we can clean with wipes. I used to buy them from Costco. The whole idea is cleaning the tables, the windowsills, horizontal surfaces in the area where you're working, okay? And so you would clean those last. Wiping down cleaning the windows, really good, especially cleaning inside the trough area, okay, very well. I might wipe them 2 or 3 times with a fresh one, every time switching out and just wiping it clean, okay? The sills, well, if you put a brand new window in, you might as well paint the windowsills, okay? Make it nice and fresh. You're gonna paint that. Maybe you'll have to wet scrape it first and make sure it's not chipping or cracking, and you'll paint the windowsills. Now cleaning the floors, okay? The contractors use these Swifters now, okay? And they work well, they're quick. You can switch out the pads very, very quick and efficient. You have some? Oh, thank you. Here's some here. So, back in the day, you know, I mean, when we start to clean, you know, we don't clean like, remember, like cleaning like this? You're spreading dust all over the place if you clean that way. The whole idea is when we clean, we're going to go over it one time and we turn and we turn, okay? So you're going over it, one area, turn, turn, just like that. Yes, that way you can, these are very simple to use, okay? They go on very easy. You can use many of them to clean with. Very easy, they just pinch in, okay? Just like that, very simple. Yeah. And so, you know, the area where you cleaned in, you coat and you turn. just like this, over at one time. I'm just going over that area once, just like that. Then I'll switch this out, and I'll take another one, and I'll go over the area again. I might go over it 3 times so I know it's clean. What are we concerned about? Dust. That's it. All we're concerned about is the dust. And so these are quick, efficient, they're fast, and again, just like this, one time, just like this. So on a full, on a full lead abatement job, we'll start upstairs, clean all the rooms, bath, hallway, work our way down the stairs, clean all that, then right out the front door. Okay? When you're having a full risk assessment inspection done, the last thing on that is called a clearance, where they come and the lead professional will test. Okay? Remember I talked about the dust wipe samples? Yes. So he's going to take a sample off the floor. He's going to take a sample off the window trough, and he's going to test the window sill. We don't know which ones he's going to test. We clean the whole house, okay? All the floors, okay? And so when we're doing full risk assessments, that's what we have to do. On the private side of doing lead abatement, now when you're doing your work at home, you should clean, okay? If you're going to hire a company to do windows, we call this the RRP, renovate repair, like companies like Hanson's or Wallside or Paint, they should clean when they're done, okay? Because you are creating some dust, and cleaning is a big part. No one's going to come back and test behind you, okay? But you still need to clean, okay? And it's very important, Again, we talked about, preventing lead poison, until you can replace your windows or eliminate all those lead hazards. If you clean your house very well, every other day, washing your child's hands constantly and their toys, okay, it will prevent lead poisoning, okay, until you can eliminate lead hazards in the house, okay? Anybody have any questions? Yes?
Marty, what should I do if I hire a contractor to come to my house and I feel like they're not using lead safe work practices?
So, great question. Before you hire a contractor, okay, you have to find out, do they practice lead safe work practices? Is the company lead certified, okay, through the EPA? When contractors work on old homes, this is the rule, this is the regulation. They have to give the renovative right pamphlet out to the homeowner, okay? If they're not giving you one of these, then you don't want them in your home, okay? This tells the homeowner, okay, about lead safe work practices. There's a form in the back that he signs and you sign together, okay? It protects him from any type of liability too, the contractor, all right? And so, if you hire a company that has nothing, that they do not know about lead safe work practice, you do not want them in your home, okay? And so, you do not want them to do something to, a month or 2 months down the road, a child becomes lead poisoned, okay? And so that's why we have all these rules and regulations that, and the renovative right pamphlet is one of them. Very, very important. When we do this work, it has to be given to the homeowner, okay? Yeah, it's important to hire the right contractor, okay? And I heard a question earlier, it's hard to find contractors that are lead certified or that even to find contractors to do this work, okay? And so don't be afraid to work on your house yourselves, okay? You can do the work. I mean, windows are, the doors are tough, but windows and other things are manageable that you can do yourself, like drywall repair. And so, again, make sure when you're disturbing it that you're using your vacs and using wet methods to keep you safe when you're doing it. Yeah. Did you have a question?
So we were told like lead wipes.
Yes.
The very expensive lead wipes.
Yes.
Is that for real?
I mean, they have lead wipes. They have, here, I bought, this is some stuff I had. This is a lead paint surface cleaner, okay? And so, I mean, does this work better than this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, this could be $22, you know what I mean? The whole idea is, you know what I mean, we're cleaning, okay? It has to have a type of cleaning agent. You shouldn't just use water. It has to have some type of cleaning agent.
What about TSP?
So, good question. When I first started out many, many years ago, the rules were using TSP, okay? And then we were using Awesome from the dollar store. And then I started using these, okay? The whole idea is that you're cleaning and cleaning properly, okay? So we pass the clearance, okay? Very, very important to pass the clearance. And so, yeah, there's different ways to clean, you know, and these seem to work well. And the Swifters are quick and efficient and work well too. Yes, yes. Yes. Yeah, I mean, and they're efficient, you know, and you can wipe something off 2 or 3 times, you know. And remember, you know, lead is heavy. It's going to fall on horizontal surfaces. And so everything should be wiped out and cleaned, especially when you're going to disturb any type of lead-based paint. Make sure that we put our plastic up on the outside of the house too, if you're working outside.
I just had a question.
Yeah.
Is it something, maybe I just missed this, but is it something about the chemicals in the Lysol that help with dust removal?
I'm not sure what it is.
The fact that it's moist.
Yeah, I think, you know.
It seems like you're paying for it.
Right.
That bacterial.
I think because you're using a wet method when we're doing our cleaning, okay? If you're doing a job that lasts 2 or 3 days, let's talk about that, okay? And so the first day, you're cleaning daily and often, okay? A good carpenter cleans, right? They stop, they clean at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So when we're talking about doing lead work and all the stuff that we generate, we wrap it and bag it and put it in a secure spot. Use our HEPA vacs, okay? On the last day, we will do the final cleaning, okay? Where we're gonna go in and HEPA vac really good and then use our wet cleaning at the end. Especially if they're going to be a clearance. We talked about a clearance where a lead professional is gonna come and take dust wipe samples if you have a clearance done, a full risk assessment done on your house, okay? So, but if you're not having a risk assessment done and you're just gonna be doing the work yourself, okay, you should still be cleaning when you're done, okay? Yeah, and it's important, yep. Well, I really enjoyed the class today. I hope you guys learned some things to help you. Yes?
When the employee training center
Yes.
moved to this building, did they have lead and asbestos in this building before you converted it to a training center?
So this building was probably built in the 1920s. So was there lead here? Oh yeah.
So did you have a private company?
So, but we don't allow any children under 6 in here, do we? No, we don't. We just have adults here. You know what I mean? So this would actually be a child occupied facility. You know what I mean? When we're talking about, you know, doing lead, old commercial buildings. Okay, you know this is an old building, and it probably does have coats of lead paint on it. You know what I mean? From back in the days. Yeah.
I remember down the street used to be, I grew up over here, there used to be ABC Warehouse.
Yep. This one?
Yeah, right down the street.
Okay, yeah.
And then near Grand River.
Yep, so yeah, so the commercial buildings, yes they do. You know what I mean? You can buy lead paint for commercial buildings. They're still using it. You can buy lead paint for painting ships in the shipyard, farm equipment, okay? It's been banned from residential use in what year? 1978, that's right. So, anyway, so yes, there is lead here. Yep. But again, I want to thank you guys all for coming. I hope you guys learned some things today. And again, don't be afraid. You can work on your homes, okay? Lead safe. And I have cards here. And so if you have any questions, if you run into a jam, you can call me. All right? And say, I got a problem, Marty. What do I do? Okay?
I got a quick question, Marty.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so you had the risk assessment. They came through.
Yeah.
You got your paper. You wiped everything down. After you wiped down, after the homeowner wiped down.
Or whoever doing the cleaning.
Right. Say they use those wipes. Every wipe they use, are they going to have to put it in a 6 mil bag?
No.
Okay.
No. So, is it hazardous waste that we're taking out of the home?
No.
No, it's household waste. Now I can talk to you about what is hazardous waste. Now if you were using a 55-gallon drum of some type of paint stripper, or some kind of liquid sludge that was on a commercial building, yes, that would have to be tested and sealed in containers and taken to a special landfill. It's all the stuff that comes out of our house, it's just going to go to the regular landfill. But you have to wrap it in 6 mil plastic before you do that. That's just the rule. Okay? Yeah. Yeah.
So, are you going to keep giving these classes? Like, I want to share this information with some people that I know.
Are there going to be any more classes like this? I'm not sure. This was supposed to be the last one. I've done 3. And I've really enjoyed working with homeowners. And possibly in the future we might do some more. If you know of anyone or you want to become a lead abatement worker or supervisor for the state of Michigan, or you want to take the EPA RRP, Renovate, Repair, and Paint class, that's a 1-day class. The other certification is 32 hours to become a lead supervisor, to work on HUD-funded projects, the big projects that are going on in the city right now. Then you can come see me, okay? We're signing up, we have a lot of classes going on because the training is free, okay? And so we can take advantage of it. I do not. I am a lead inspector risk assessor, but I do not do the training.
A lot of people I know, they live in Hyde Park in these old homes, and some of them set in their ways, the ones that are older than me. And I keep telling them, it's, like when I asked them to come, oh, we got the water, and they gave us filters. I didn't say only lead in the water. Some people still believe it's only lead. You only got to touch the water or the pipe.
Yeah, it's not the water.
Right here, it's very important.
Yes. Yeah.
And, sometimes you have to show some people.
Sure.
You can tell, but if they're not informed,
you can become a lead risk assessor and inspector after you've worked in the field for 3 years doing lead work, and then you have this experience, and then you can take the state exam and take the class.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got to go your own for exam.
Yes. Then you can start doing your inspections, okay, and buy the XRF gun, Those guns cost $15,000 brand new. Yeah, very expensive. Yeah. Everyone's getting a bag today with all the stuff to take home, okay? And so again, I want to thank you all for coming. And I have some cards here too if you want my card. Okay, I got it right here. And then if you have any questions about working on your house or any type of certification, you can call me, okay? And thanks again, everyone. Appreciate it. Yeah.